What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. As you can tell by the title, I have a very special guest for you guys today. My friend Robbie is here to talk about all kinds of stuff. So this video is kind of all over the place. We're just gonna chop it up and talk about our past, talk about how we met, we talk about dealing, we talk about prison, we talk about a lot of different things. Now, before we get into it today, I just wanna say that my friends, when they come on the channel, they're not YouTubers, you know, so please just give him a little bit of grace with that. He's never done an interview before, and when I'm with my friends, it is very difficult for us to be serious, so make sure you watch until the end for bloopers. If you have been riding with me for a while, you know that I did make a video about being robbed, and we do talk about that, but at the end of the day, I'm not that person anymore, he's not that person anymore, and we have been able to take all of that negative stuff that happened in our past and kind of recover from it, if that makes sense. So this video may seem like it's all over the place, but I do have two more videos with Robbie. One of them is going to be a Q&A where I took questions from Patreon. I introduced you guys to Robbie first on Patreon, and I asked you guys questions that you might have for him. So we are going to have a Q&A, and I'll do even more videos with him via Skype or what have you. He is going to be moving to Illinois, so I am going to be able to have him on the channel all the time as a regular guest, and we're going to be able to follow his progress. I just want to give you guys a little bit of a backstory. If the video is confusing, Robbie sold for me, and he was a runner of mine, and you know, we've gone through a lot of stuff, and both separately and together, we've gone through a lot of stuff. So I'm very grateful that we are able to have a friendship now that we're sober, and him and REECE have the most adorable romance ever. So I'm very grateful that Robbie is going to be moving to Illinois so that we can not only follow his progress on the channel, but so that I can have my friend close to me, you know? So if you would like to reach out to Robbie just to give him some words of encouragement, I will leave his email address down below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. How's it going?
Well, I feel like I'm in prison again.
What? This does not look like prison.
That's kind of prison to me.
Stop.
Yeah.
White walls are prison.
No, the last spot I was in, we had bricks.
Where?
Yeah, Malvern.
Malvern had brick walls? Yeah. So, thank you so much for taking the time to just jump on the channel. I know it's weird. I know YouTube is weird.
Yeah, I want to look at the camera.
Yeah, YouTube is weird for people like us. You know, we come from a very different world, and that world does not involve sharing everything online.
Yeah, I'm technically not supposed to be on the camera.
It is definitely strange, and I was not good at this at first, but I wanted to share our story and your story and take them back.
Yeah, take them back.
Take them back. So when we first met, what was that like from your point of view?
Well, you was a child.
Well, not then, like. So we knew each other when we were kids, but then like there was a long time where we weren't talking.
Well, I kicked it with your brother.
Yeah.
I knew you in passing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I was always Mike's little sister.
Yeah,
I didn't have an identity.
No, she's just on the porch.
On the porch?
On the porch. That's the last place I really remember you when you was a kid.
Chilling.
You were sitting on the stairs just chilling.
By myself.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you were doing. It was weird. Yeah.
So, things kind of took a turn in our adult life, and you know, you struggled with addiction. So let's start with that first.
We kind of got forced into our friendship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our addiction. You had a toxic relationship. I had a toxic relationship, and at that time, I guess it just happened to be at the right time for us to meet, because I mean, we both were going through the things at the same time.
Yeah. So yeah, we were both homeless.
Kind of homeless. I had a house.
Kind of. You didn't want to go there.
Yeah.
Because of your ex.
I couldn't. I let her keep it because the kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
responsible druggie.
There is a such thing.
Yeah, yeah. I was a functioning junkie.
Is what they call
yeah,
it.
I was
Yeah.
functioning.
So, you know, when we met, we were at a really bad time in our lives, and I was trying to not sell dope.
I was trying to sell dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was trying to quit, but I hated being broke and on that couch.
Yeah, we flip-flopped pretty easily. I went from selling dope to having you around helping me with it to you went to selling dope, and then I was helping you sell it.
Right, so when we first, let me like try to explain the timeline here. So when we first met, I had come back from Iowa. I had broken up with my ex, and I was in a really bad place. and like mentally and physically.
Yeah.
I was staying at someone's house. I was just crashing on her couch, and it was like a really bad time in my life. So
how was she even our friend?
Not exactly sure.
Yeah, I know. She was not even up to par. You know what I'm saying? Like,
she let me live there.
I
So
mean, she let me live there too. So.
Yeah. So we were just not in a good headspace, and I quit selling dope. I didn't want to sell anymore. I was just done. But then when I came back to New York, I was homeless, technically. It wasn't my place, and I had no money, and I could barely eat. I was done, and I got pulled back in. And when I got pulled back in, I pulled you with me, and he was my runner. He sold for me, and not just that, like you were my A1, like you were always there for anything I needed.
Before Facebook, there was FaceTime, and I put it in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, so we called, I have to explain that. We called FaceTime back in the day, you doing the hand-to-hand transactions that protected me.
Yeah.
So that's what FaceTime used to be called, like in the street, is when you're putting in the work to protect your dealer.
Made me feel famous. It did.
FaceTime,
Yeah.
dangerous to you.
Dangerous, but I felt famous.
So when I took on more, my re-ups got bigger, I took on more runners, I upped my game, so to speak, the more I used, and I justified that. I'm making more, I can party more, I'm fine, I just party, I'm not an addict, and we lived in this weird little bubble of, we're fine.
I didn't see you doing it like that until Randy. That's why I didn't like you with Randy.
You thought, it's okay.
Yeah, but I didn't see you like that until Dude came around. Before, it was like you were more responsible about it. Even when you had more, because once I came back, you took on more again. And you still we was on some get money shit.
Yeah.
We wasn't on no, oh, I'm trying to impress, or, oh, look at me. It was, and then that shit happened, Dude came back. That's when shit started going downhill again. Like, that's when I realized, because then I could start seeing it in you. Like, I knew you was doing more. So I started doing more. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like our energy bounced off of each other.
You had more responsibility. You put more responsibility on me. You made it seem like I was doing wrong when you know what I mean?
I mothered you a little.
Yeah,
I did. It's just crazy how we justified our addiction. But when I got back together with my ex, I'm now paying for my addiction. I'm paying for his addiction, and I just
didn't have enough to pay me for my work.
I didn't, and I just slowly started to decline, and things got bad.
Started getting smaller.
Your cut started getting smaller, and you took on more risk, and I wasn't paying you accordingly. So you were a heroin addict, and then that eventually led to meth. Tell me about that.
Well, I ran because, I don't know if you remember, but it felt like the heat was coming down tough.
I remember.
So, like, I went into hiding, and I ran, and when I got to Arkansas, they didn't have it. My brother and my dad tried to take care of me, and they was trying to feed me, like, morphine and Lord and these small
so that
little,
you could detox?
Yeah, trying to detox me up out of it, but none of that stuff was working, and I stayed laid up for like, it felt like a month, but it was only probably like a week.
Detoxing feels like it lasts a really long time.
Yeah,
it can last anywhere from a few days. People have told me a few days.
Yeah,
I'm like, not in my world.
Yeah, I've never had that.
A few days all the way until, 4 weeks. So
Mine was probably a week or two.
Week or two.
But it was bad, shitting on myself,
yeah.
Puking, couldn't get up off the couch, and then one day, my little brother, he's like, hey bro, looks like you need some sun. Come on, take a ride with me to the store. So I'm like, whatever. I was feeling a little bit better, I just popped like 4 jets. Got in the car, I laid back, I was sick. Right when I got in the car, motion sickness hit in. And he took me to the Shamrock store right there on Grand.
Gas station?
Yeah, the gas station. So when they get out, they go in the store. Well, I just open the door because I feel like I'm gonna puke. I'm leaning out like this. Some girl just walked by, and she's got like marks on her arm and stuff. You know what I mean?
So
and
you knew.
I'm such a that I'm looking for that because I'm llooking for what New York calls dope, but dope down in
dog food.
Yeah, dope in Arkansas is crystal. Yeah. Which I found out later on because I grabbed a hold of her arm and I'm like, hey chick, where you get your stuff? And she's like, I don't even know you, what's wrong with you? Yeah, she says, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, look, I see what you're doing, where's the dope at? And she's like, alright, I'll be right back out. And I didn't know nobody, not in Fort Smith.
That's crazy that that's how you met her. I have stories about her I can tell on the channel too. She just reminded me.
She comes out and she grabs my hand and we walk away. I don't know Fort Smith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just take off walking with this chick that's got marks on her arm. Next thing you know, it's like 30 days later, I ain't been to bed. I found out you could make your own, and I was just, yeah.
You get like so enthralled with it, and it's so weird how we meet these random people and we just connect. It's like, I know that you're sick like me, and it's like an instant bond.
Yeah, I mean, part of the struggle, which we ain't even thinking about it as the struggle. It's just part of the game.
So how did your addiction start?
Oh yeah, I started with weed and just slowly moved up, hanging out with older kids. You know what I mean? But,
so it was just a normal thing growing up.
Yeah, I didn't need it. Like I wasn't. My mom was always working. You know what I mean? My dad was kind of working, alcoholic, but I didn't like being told what to do. Not by them, the school, or nothing. So when they started to try to boss me around, that's when I just slipped out and just started doing my own thing. And that's where the drug dealing came in. And I pulled my brother into it, and because I don't like to pay for drugs. Who likes to pay for drugs? You know what I mean? I'd rather have it on me, do it whenever I want, and still have money from the same thing. So I mean, it was a job. That's like I called it picking up work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jess, you got some work?
I do. Come on over.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't.
That's how I saw it too. I saw it as my job. I saw it as my responsibility and my job. And that line of thinking is so flawed. But when you come from an area with no opportunity, no good jobs, no one wants to hire you if you look a certain way. Or... It's
actual work though. You actually got to put in work. Like the FaceTime shit, all these hand-to-hands, and you got to be smooth talking. And that's how you know there's some skill involved. You have to have skill. That's how I know I could be a salesman.
You can sell anything. So yeah, when you sell dope, there is a skill set there. There's a hustler mentality, and I think if we harness that, we can help a lot of people.
Do you know how I got to like me so much?
How?
By trying to buy his shoes off of him and sell them to his friend that was trying to fucking give us a ride.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Talked him into buying it.
So you wanted to sell drugs just to make money? It was a job to you?
It was like a hierarchy on the peers, you know what I mean? Like there was the smokers, there was the runners, and then there was the drug dealer. At one time I wanted to be the plug, but then once I found out the plug needed runners, I felt important.
You were.
Yeah, it made me feel like I was doing something.
You protected me, you know? And not just me, other people too.
I know.
And you took a lot of risk, and eventually we linked back up in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And that was not good.
That's the worst idea in the world. Don't ever go to Arkansas.
Horrible. I couldn't even point it out in a map. Like if someone like back then was like, I can now. But if someone to me 10 years ago was like, I'm gonna go to Arkansas, I have no idea what you just said.
I mean, Arkansas is not that bad unless you go to, Fort Smith, North Little Rock, or
Fort Coffee.
Yeah. Fort Coffee, yeah. Fort Coffee's horrible.
So, meth drew us in, and we both ended up going to prison in Arkansas.
Meth was the finish game. That's what it was. Like, we gradually graduated up the little scale, and once we hit meth, well, she took us down through there. That boy didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
We had that.
For me, there was no stopping when I started meth. How about you? Like,
no.
There was no control.
No. It took me all the way down through there. I try to warn you about meth. Nobody listens to Robbie when he's on meth, so...
I'm like, you're on meth, so you can't say anything
to me.
It's
okay, I'll save you.
So I went to Arkansas because I was thinking I was going to get you sober, and I was going to help you out. I had 2 months sober from heroin.
I was so proud of her.
2 months is a long time, but it wasn't enough.
No, not when I'm pretty much telling you, Jess, don't come down here. It's so bad.
That's the worst thing you can do is tell me not to do something. Because then I'm like, I'm on my way.
And then we're both in prison.
No, we're both in prison. So what was the first set of charges you got going to prison?
Residential burglary.
Residential burglary.
Yeah.
How much time did you get on that one?
I mean, I only did 11 months.
11 months?
Yeah. If you're going to do time, go to Arkansas.
Stop.
I just thought it.
Because you get less time?
Yeah, you get a lot less time.
You would have got the same thing in New York.
No.
You would have got 1 1/3 to 3 in New York.
Shit.
So what was it like going to prison for the first time?
I thought it was going to be scarier than it was. I ain't even going to lie. I did a lot of working out in county jail because they had me all pumped up that it was going to be a racial segregation. And so when I got there, I mean, it wasn't really nothing like they said. I got there, I threw my shirt off, and I squared up with some dude, and they were like, what are you doing?
We don't do that here.
Yeah, this is not 2000, this is
That's
2010.
So funny. Okay, so prison myth says you have to walk in and like beat up someone. That's not how it goes.
Yeah, I thought I was going to have to fight for my stuff.
That's so funny.
And it didn't happen like that. But, I mean, there was a lot of fighting going down, because once you get settled in,
yeah,
you become comfortable there. and then you're alpha male. I mean, I got that a lot. It's bad. And I don't like being, like I said, being told what to do. I don't like people yelling in my direction or pointing at me or trying to call me out of my name. There's a lot of things that you have to do. Yeah, there's a lot of codes you got to run by. Like, if somebody was to call you a bitch or a punk or any of that, you can't sit back and take that.
So there's certain situations where you have to fight.
You have to fight.
Yeah.
Or if you don't fight, you better go to the hole and not come back.
Yeah. So, you think, was it meth that made you steal?
Yeah.
You just wanted to steal to get more meth?
No, I thought there was meth in there. I thought
you broke into someone's house for meth?
For meth in their TV and their, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got a call from some little dude saying, hey, check this out. My dude's about to be gone all night. What's up? I said, what's up? Take me there. You get whatever you want.
So the second time you went to prison, what happened with that?
I got caught up with a pistol. Just got high. I remember you trying to stop me from getting high. Please don't. Please. I got a feeling you're going to go to prison. Oh, shut up, Jess. Johnny, take Jess away from me. I wasn't high. At first, I was thinking clearly when I was sober. Dude pulled out that stuff that I ain't never seen because meth comes in all colors. And it just so happened to be a bright yellow. Dude,
I know my gut. Like, I know when something's wrong, and I always trusted my gut.
You read my tarot 3 times. And each time you're like, prison card, prison card, what prison card?
Yeah.
You read it a different way, prison card, prison card, prison card. Don't do this. And I said, man, do it again. Do it again. Every time prison showed up.
I don't believe in tarot cards anymore, but
That's because you were good at it. Stupid good.
I just trusted my gut, and it wasn't that I was just good at it, it was that I could read the room, you know, and I could read the situations, and I was just good at
You know, I looked it up, and that 4 card is...
Yeah,
I looked it up.
I'm a legit prison tarot card reader.
She's a gypsy.
I'm not a gypsy. I never believed in it personally. So how many times have you been to prison?
5.
And this is the first time that you're out and you're sober and you're successful?
This time, yes. It's been... Last time I was already high.
Yeah. So you're doing so good, and my audience is called the Ride or Die Crew. You know, and they're going to be cheering you on, and they're going to be wanting to know updates on you, and...
Yeah. I hope I don't let them down.
Do you think it's ironic that you rob people and your name is Robbie?
I think that's why I rob people. They say, be careful what you name your kids.
Right? No, it's because your addiction just
No, it wasn't just that. It's like all growing up, hearing stories from people that you respect about how they can pick locks, and then they show you how to pick locks, and then they tell you about how they were robbing people. And then once you start robbing people, they frown on you, and then you're like, damn, I was just trying to be like you. Because I was robbing shit before I was getting high.
Yeah. I
used to be that dude in Sydney that would go to the store just to rob a whole bunch of packs of gum to take it up to the pool and give it to people.
As a kid?
Yeah, as a kid, you know what I'm saying?
I just think like that behavior gets so ingrained in who you are that it's so difficult to rethink that. You know, and the reason why he's on the channel today is because he's successful now, and he's sober, and he's doing it.
I'm becoming successful.
It's a journey, you know. I've never seen you work so hard, and I've never seen you want it so bad.
I've never been sober this long.
No?
I can't believe it.
You're doing so good. So let's talk about how our friendship ended in New York.
A dude became between us again that I didn't want to become. I knew it was going to happen, though, you know what I mean? Like... When somebody loves somebody, they're just drawn to them, and you're just drawn to them.
So my ex came in between us. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was a plan to rob me. Let's talk about it.
That's bullshit, Jess. Why you gotta bring that up?
Because I told it on the channel already.
I mean, there was a plan, and I don't even know how it came up.
I'll wait.
I really don't remember how it came up. I just remember Randy wanting to go someplace, and I was down with it, you know what I mean? Like, you started treating me differently. He started treating me like a homeboy. And then all of a sudden he's like, hey, how about we do this and go to Florida? And I'm like, fuck it, let's ride.
Yeah.
I was supposed to get the car. He was supposed to get the, you know what I mean, do his thing.
My money.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we were supposed to ride. And then he took out. And I was like, damn. So he did this to me too.
Yeah, my ex robbed me, and then the plan that y'all had fell through. And I didn't find that out until later.
It wasn't really my plan though. It was just I was supposed to
plan.
get a car. Yeah, he was gonna supply the rest of it, and we was gonna ride.
You didn't really know that supply came from me?
I mean, kinda. Like, where else was it gonna come from? He
Yeah.
wasn't gonna rob dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was just such a bad time in my
He was
life.
a scary ass dude. He'd rob you, but he wouldn't rob dude. I'm trying to rob dude.
I know. It was a bad time in my life where I was so sick and my addiction took over that I didn't even want to see you because I didn't want you to see how bad I was.
I was the same way. My addiction was so bad that it didn't matter. Jess just disowned me so. You know what I mean? It wasn't sobering up though. Jess was the only one that actually cares. Like
Yeah.
even then, even if she didn't want to admit to it, because she was a hard ass.
I don't admit to things like that, man.
She told me she loved me the other day. What?
Whoa!
Yeah, what?
What?
It took years.
I do love you. You're my homeboy and I love you.
I know. It took a long time for you to be able to say that without looking away.
Can't wait to edit that out. Forgiveness takes time, and I'm just so grateful that we can be friends outside of that world. We don't care about that shit back then, you know. We're not the same people that we were. So all the crazy shit that happened in Arkansas, like I almost got kidnapped because you stole a TV from somebody.
That was the first time I went down. It was the TV,
Bro.
the drugs, and look, he had like, I don't even know how much money he had in a stiletto, but who hides money in a stiletto and how found it, I don't know.
It's a good place.
Yeah, what was
but like
it?
this guy pulls up and a bunch of people get out the car, being one of them, and he's like, that's her. And I'm like, so you were passed out next door, and I'm like, I don't know where he is. And everyone's like, she lying. And a bunch of people came to help me because they wanted to take me to Fort Coffee.
Oh yeah, she came and tried to wake me up, and I was like,
I threw something at you, and I'm like, they just tried to kidnap me. Wake the fuck up. But you were so...
I don't care, I got guns.
But they tried to kidnap me.
I didn't even realize what you were saying to me.
Yeah.
I was so out of it. I'd done been up for like 3 weeks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I finally fell asleep at
It
my
messed
uncle's
me up
house.
so bad because I'm like, dude, he's gone. Like the friendship that we had in New York, it did dissolve kind of, but then we linked back up in Arkansas, and I still thought that you were gonna be my ride or die, my A1. You know what I mean?
Still kind of was.
But you didn't want me there because your addiction was bad. It was like everything reversed.
I felt like you did me wrong in New York, so
And you did me wrong in Arkansas.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I figured I was gonna do.
Everything was reversed then, but it's crazy because now looking back, like, you're my homie, day one, and all that shit is in the past.
That's how that created this friendship. You know what I mean? It was all the hardships that we had to endure. It wasn't because we were nice to each other. You know what I mean? It was. We beat each other up a little bit.
Yeah, I depended on you, and I didn't always treat you the best, you know? You would always come through for me, and then, you know, in Arkansas when shit was kind of crazy, I came down there, I stomped on you, I got your dude, I got dude's dude, and then that dude's dude, and I didn't even think about it. Like, I stomped on all your people, I cut you out, and I'm doing my own thing. And I didn't see, like, how disrespectful and how shitty that was. I didn't care, you know? And for that, I'm sorry. Stupid.
I mean, it's a dog-eat-dog world. I was in prison, so somebody had to take over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
you know it's gonna be me.
I know.
If I'm there, it's gonna be me.
And then I get out and she's going to prison.
Yep. I got to see you for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, I gotta tell you something.
That was a good 2 weeks, though.
So I bonded out, and I was only out for 2 weeks, and 3 days before I got rearrested, you got arrested. But we were able to spend a little bit of time together, and it was just like, I'm going now. I'm going to prison. My bad. I'm also pregnant.
Yeah.
This is a crazy situation, and it was hard for me to...
Did you go on podcasts when you were pregnant? You didn't. She's pretty when she's pregnant. Just saying.
This is not a podcast. This is a YouTube video.
She's pretty when she's pregnant.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
She
that.
don't dress all boyish.
I like the way I dress. Get out. You don't dress all boyish. I was wearing clothes that were not even mine.
It was cool though.
Whatever.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'm the homeboy.
That's still one of the main memories I have.
The 2 weeks I was out on bond.
Yeah, I mean, I was only out for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's how it went.
Bonded out, rearrested.
Yeah.
You know, and then I saw you back in county, and it was just so hard. You know?
Yeah, I was hanging out with dude.
Baby daddy.
No, your best friend.
Oh, Forrester. Jason.
Oh, you're gonna say his name?
We talk about Jason all the time. So Jason's like, I don't like your runner. I don't like your homeboy. And I'm like, you better.
It's just because I thought he was a cop. Shit.
I called him a cop too.
And I thought dude was a cop pulling up on a motorcycle. He came with some chick that I thought was the police.
A lot of people in Arkansas tell, and we know 2 dozen, 3 dozen, 4 dozen snitches, and that is just that's an unfortunate piece of meth addiction. you know? And I've seen people sell out their own parents to get out of jail. So
Yeah, that's messed up.
it really is. But
the cops will tell you who snitched too. I didn't even know who told on me until this time.
they will straight up say, this is who it is, and slide you a piece of paper.
They read it off to me like, did you know this chick told on you? I'm like, what?
It's like they're trying to like stir it up and make it worse.
Oh yeah, they're trying to make Fort Smith violent. That's what
Yeah.
they're trying to do.
So I think the cool thing is that we all get to be friends now. Jason's about to get out of prison next year, and you're doing really well, and I'm doing well, and we all get to be friends on a different level. Like,
I hope Jason does good.
no more of this bullshit. No more
No.
running the streets and going to prison and doing this all over again.
I hope he stops.
Me too.
Because it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks.
It is. He's the old homie.
It's
He's
a good
the homie.
thing that I'm not that old. You know what I mean? I'm learning still.
You're doing so good.
I'm learning how to tell my feelings, which I never did that before.
So for the first time in Robbie's life, he has a good girl, and he's happy, and things are going so well. So I'm so proud of you.
And I'm nervous about breaking stuff up. That's what
It's cute. It's so cute to see him so excited about this girl, and it's funny that you're nervous because when I got into a relationship after prison, I was nervous too. You know, I was really nervous that REECE was going to break my heart and that he wasn't really a good guy. And it's funny when broken people get treated right, it's like we don't know how to act and we're like a fish out of water, and we're like, I'm gonna mess this up, something's wrong, we should be fighting right now, and your head really plays tricks on you when the reality is this is a beautiful thing and this is going to be a great relationship or even friendship, you know. It's just hard.
God.
It's hard to relearn how to trust people too outside of that world. I feel like a lot of this video is rambling, and it's going to be hard to make a sequence of events from everything that we talked about. So before I let you go, what is something that you would say to someone that is in active addiction, that is desperate to get out of that life?
Just find you a lifeline and hold on. You know what I mean? Like I said, I got 4 now. Those are my lifelines. They're my support group. Find some kind of lifeline and hold on. Because they'll pull you out. You just got to stick with them.
All right, guys, I'm going to end today's video here, and we will have another video with Robbie next week. I love you guys. Stay safe, stay sober. Do not go to prison 5 times. No. And I will see you in my next one. Because
Oh, that's f***ed up.
I feel like this video is all over the place.
It is. That's how we do. Even when we're just talking, Jess, you don't understand that. So it's going to be hard for us to do this because every time this is how we end up. We'll back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Names. I hate you. I hate this whole video. So